Okay, hello once again. I want to give you a little preview of this activity that you're going to be doing. Hopefully you have these two sheets in front of you, the yellow one and the white one. The activity is going to start with the white one, okay? The first thing I need you to understand, which feels super awkward about this particular investigation, is that there's a little, this is coming from actually chapter 3. So when you see 3.5 on like the homework outline and stuff like that, it is in chapter 3. It's one section that appears in that particular chapter in our book. It'd be better if it was in chapter 1, but it's not. I believe it fits here better, so we're going to do it now. Okay. So the first part of the activity is going to be with the white sheet. You're basically going to search and start to fill all of this out. I want to give you a couple pointers to make the setup and make the activity go a little bit smoother, so that hopefully you can get the point of it. The very first thing that you need to do is give all answers as fractions if you can. We're going to be using the calculator to do a lot of this. However, if you look at the decimal version of the answer, it's not going to help you find the patterns as quickly as the fraction version will. Okay? So you can see what's new here is that we're going to be looking at what happens when x approaches positive infinity in this column and then negative infinity in this column. Okay? And of course what that means is that we want to know what this rational function does when the numbers plugged into it get larger and larger and larger. So kind of like at the far right end of the graph, what is this guy doing? Okay. We also want to know conversely, right, at the far left end, when the negative numbers get larger, okay, what happens to this function? Okay. So the way that you're going to do this in your calculator, you're going to use that. Okay, I'll do the first one with you. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and you can kind of leave these settings this way the entire time, is that you're going to go into your table and make sure that the x values that you put in there are getting larger and larger and larger. So for the first column, I'm going to type in 3 values that are going to help us approach infinity. So what could we pick here? Let's take 1,000. Well, let's take 1,000. Let's take 100,000, and then let's take 1,000,000. Just for good measure. So as long as they're getting huge, that's all we needed to do. The other thing you're going to notice is your calculator is going to flip into like possibly scientific notation because the numbers we're working with are going to be either really large or really small. So make sure that you know that when the number is positive after the e, that means really big, your decimal point's moving to the right, and when it's negative, it means really small, your decimal point's moving to the left. Okay. And then of course to do the second column over here, I'm going to do negative numbers. So I've got negative 1,000 and getting numbers that approach negative infinity here, and then negative 1,000,000 we'll use again. Now you can choose whatever you want. I just think these are kind of easy to work with. Okay, so in order to do this one, all you're going to have to do once you have these set is go in here and just change the function every now and again. So I'm going to hit y equals, and since all of the ones in this example are rational, you need to make sure that you do x minus 1 in parentheses. Can't see that. Divided by, and then make sure you put the denominator, the x plus 2 in parentheses as well. Okay? And so when you do that, right, get that entered in correctly, please make sure that everything, coefficients and signs are being entered correctly. You can go ahead and look back at your table and start to look for the pattern. So here I see as we approach positive infinity, it looks like I'm approaching 1. Okay? And then as I approach negative infinity, it looks like I'm also approaching 1. Okay? And that's all you need to do for now. So go ahead, use your calculator, maybe take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Work on getting these numbers filled in. Okay? And the other thing you can do then is actually pause the video right now, because when you hit play again, you're going to come back and I'm going to show you all the answers so you can kind of check it at that point. So make sure you hit pause right now. Go through all the work. It's really going to help your understanding. And then come back and hit play once you think you're done and as good as it's going to get. Okay. All right, so if you've got this done, I'm going to go through and show you how quickly I can do these problems and why it's kind of beneficial for you to go ahead and work on figuring out the patterns. So when I look at number 2, I know that my answer is going to be this. Okay, when I look at number 3, I know my answer should be this. When I look at number 4, your answer should be this. Number 5, I believe you got 0 for both of these. Number 6, zeros again. Number 7, this one should be positive infinity. this should be positive infinity. Number 8, we should have negative infinity and negative infinity. And then when I look at number 9, let me see real quick. I'm assuming this is infinity and this is negative infinity. And then let's analyze this one. It's going to be negative infinity and positive infinity. And so if you kind of look at these results, right, you want to kind of start to figure out, well, how can I do it that fast, right? And so what this yellow sheet is going to help you do, it's going to help you answer those questions. So you're going to use numbers 1 through 4 to answer question 1. You'll use numbers 5 and 6 to answer number 2, and then you'll see the rest of the numbers are in the problems here, so you can try to figure it out, okay? So go ahead, take a little bit of time, search on your white sheet, look at your yellow sheet, and see if you can come up with this, okay? And then we'll come back together in a little bit. Get those answers filled out best you can.